Okay, so welcome to part 2, where we shall take a look at the games, well, the inbuilt games, rather. And when we start up the console, or the unit, or whatever, yes, you get a nice little picture of Ryu and Ken doing Hadoukens at the screen for some reason, I don't know. And yes, you get 8 games on each page, and it is, I'm not sure if you can read it, but it says Super 38001 on the top. So yes, you can select the games by pressing up and down. And anyone that's played an AtGames clone will recognise that sound effect straight away, probably, because it's used on those. And I think anyone that's played will know that that isn't a good sign, and you'll find out right now. When I start up Sonic the Hedgehog, actually better turn the sound down. Yes, the sound emulation is off, to put it simply. Yeah, it does not sound great, let's just put it that way. And by it doesn't sound great, I mean it sounds quite awful. I mean, it's not even in tune half the time. I mean, that's how bad it is. Although I will say, graphics, perfectly fine for the most part. I say for the most part, you'll find out why that is later on. Gameplay, aside from the power slowdown, it works perfectly fine. I mean, the controls are responsive and all. Although the control scheme is a bit weird, because you have to press the triangle button for the A button, I think. Square is the B button, and X is the C button, rather. Which is a bit weird. But yeah, sound emulation is pretty awful. It gets worse, but I will say this much: it is better than Samari. So nice to see that they've beaten a dead horse. But Contra, which as you can probably imagine is Contra the Alien Wars, or well, no, Contra Hardcore. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Super Nintendo one. Yeah, of course, the Alien Wars was the Super Nintendo version, or the Game Boy version, or the pirated Famicom version, or the Game Boy Advance version, depending on what version you've played. I played the Super Nintendo version, and the pirate one, of course, and the Game Boy one. The Game Boy Advance one was shite, but whatever. Yes, Contra Hardcore and the Mega Drive. This one was a Mega Drive exclusive, in fact. And yes, a few people to select from. I'm gonna pick the Wolf because he's a wolf. Well, he looks like a wolf. Yes, our security system has been breached by an unknown hacker. Yes, trying to bring proper story into Contra. So I mean, you don't see often with the console ones, at least not at the time. And yes, forget how the controls work in this, to be honest. Isn't it the C button to shoot, or is the B button? No, it's B button shoots, and the C button sort of selects whether you're in a fixed position or not. Yes, now one thing you might notice, or at least those of you who've played the original will notice, is that the game does not suffer any slowdown. Which is especially odd, because about 2 or 3 games on the whole unit suffer from PAL slowdown, and the rest of them do not. I really don't understand why that is. I mean, I know Sonic the Hedgehog on the Mega Drive had PAL slowdown, at least in the original version. But most of the other games don't have this problem, so not really sure what happened there. And yeah, I haven't played this game in a while, as you might have noticed. I mean, then again, I was never very good at this game to begin with. I mean, I was always better at the other Contras myself. What am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna continually fire at this thing until it blows up. Yeah, got to do that. And yes, the game itself is very good. Sound emulation is probably one of the better ones, although it's not really saying much. Graphics work perfectly fine, and speed works perfectly fine. Game number 3 is Pac-Mania. Yes, now you may notice something odd, which I will point out later on. Now you may notice it featured Ms. Pac-Man on the box. Yes, for play on the Sega Genesis system, so this is obviously the American version. Assuming there's other versions out there, but whatever. And yeah, for whatever reason the music in this one is a bit distorted. It's very loud. and yeah, I've played this one before on the NES, or the NES version of it. But yeah, you may notice the distortion in this one. I'm not really sure why it happens here and not in the others. Presumably the instruments are just louder. Well, at least on the title screen and the thing. Gameplay wise, this one is it's called it Pac-Man in 3D essentially, as you've probably noticed. And I forgot the A button does nothing. Yes, that's a problem. I can't remember which buttons do which because I'm not too familiar with this version of the game. Because I'm pretty sure in the NES version the A button jumps. I did say NES version, it never got released on the Famicom. Despite being produced by Namco, which is a bit odd. But yes. Oh, I ate that one. Why are you saying I didn't eat it? Yeah, you can jump over the ghost, which makes it a bit easier than the original Pac-Man. Music seems a bit flat, and it's obviously at the wrong pitch, just like all the other games. Yeah, this applies to every game, by the way, so don't expect any to sound like the original. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. And yes, I think you see enough of this game, so let's move on. Game number 4 is what the menu calls Joshua Battle. And as you will see, this game is unlicensed, which must mean it's by Wisdom Tree, because let's face it, who else would make a game about Joshua and the Battle of Jericho? Yes, and this one is yeah, music is not very good, although granted that applies to the original. Again, the music's very loud, although this one doesn't sound distorted. Okay, what level am I on? I don't remember this. I think actually they changed the code and it sort of changed the level I was on. As you might be able to tell, this one is obviously a Boulder Dash clone. I'm sure a lot of you know what Boulder Dash is. You can shoot stuff, which is nice. It's a bit odd, considering that it's a Christian themed puzzle game. It's not very good though. It's basically just Joshua going around attacking random idiots with music notes by the looks of things. It makes no sense. But, you know, I like Boulder Dash, and this game does a bang-up job of ripping it off. Although, granted, I believe this game itself is a rip-off of another game called Crystal Mines, which was produced by Color Dreams themselves. Color Dreams is basically just Wisdom Tree before they became Wisdom Tree. I'm not totally sure what you have to do to clear the levels. I'm assuming you just have to collect stuff. And okay, I collected a scroll, I think. It looks like a scroll, so I'm just going to assume it is. Okay, collect the coin. Yay! Oh, I see. You got to collect the coins to win, I think. But I can't be bothered with that anymore. And game number 5 is Alex Kidd. I'm sure a lot of you know what Alex Kidd is. Is basically sort of the mascot for Sega before, you know, so the Hedgehog came around and so became the big thing. Yes, not very good at this game, I'll admit. More used to the Master System one, if anything. I was in the original one for the Master System. And yeah, touching flying plane things isn't some death. It's not a bad game, but meh. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so game number 6 is Fatal Labyrinth. You know, that classic Sega game that they keep including on those compilations for some reason. Oh, or maybe it's columns. Yes, they somehow they made some mess of the order in which the games appear on the menu. In fact, yes, yeah. In fact, it's worth pointing out that this happens from every game from this point. Seriously. I'm sure you'll know what columns is. I mean, I have a rip-off of it called Magic Jewelry, which is basically just columns in New York for no apparent reason. And I'm sure you'll know and recognise this as a classic. Well, actually, some Tetris fanatics probably don't, but I like it. I mean, I've had the Game Gear version since I was a kid, and the Game Gear version is pretty awesome. This game is obviously a columns rip-off. No, a Tetris rip-off, sorry. Of course, it's a very good game, in my opinion. In my opinion being the important phrase there. And yes, I'll get bothered with that. Ha! I'm a genius! Okay, maybe not. If I was a genius, I'd have gone to university. But, yes. Okay, might as well do that. I think it's enough of that game. I'm sure you'll know how to play columns. So game number 7 is Shove It, which it probably isn't. Yes, you may notice that the EA logo is kind of messed up for some reason. Yeah, it's blocks. It looks like a Tetris Ripoff. We're going to play Tetris Ripoff Town. Oh yes, Blockouts. Way back California Dreams. Yes, who are California Dreams anyway? I'm not familiar with them. But yes, options. And again, you may and yes, again, this is another game, coincidentally, this is another game that Wang Xinhui ripped off, called 3D Block, which was basically this, except with all the options gone. Well, most of them. I mean, you could change the level you want. No, don't want to do that. So yeah, it's essentially like a 3D Tetris rip-off, for lack of a better phrase. Okay, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm just going to make one line, well, one whatever, and then move on. So I think you all, I think you can tell this is one that's going. It's Tetris Ripoff. It's a pretty decent one. I mean, it's fairly original, somewhat, but it's a Tetris Ripoff nonetheless. Clear so many blocks, and you move on to the next level, I guess. Then, oh no, personally, I'm more familiar with the Wang Xinhui version. And yeah, game number 8 is not columns because we've already played it, so it's got to be something else. It is what is it? Yes, this is another game that suffers from PAL slowdown, although that's not really a big loss, as you will see. Yeah, Shove It, the warehouse game. Kind of skipped the logo, but whatever. And yes, this game is obviously Sokoban. The game just been ripped off about 40 million times. And yes, this one is actually official, I believe. Like, officially licensed by the people who did Sokoban. Thinking Rabbit, was it? Sound wise, this is probably one of the few good ones because it doesn't sound like shit. And yeah, the game is obviously, it works. If you like Sokoban, you might enjoy this. But yeah, plays for the ending, probably best that you don't bother. It's decent. Not much more to say about it. So the last game, no. Sorry, I almost spoiled it there. Yeah, as you can plainly tell, there's only 10 games. Then they really didn't go to much trouble to hide that. They might as well just call it a 10 in 1. At least that would be truthful. But yes, game number 9 is not Blockout. It is the next game with a stretched out Sega logo. Yes, Flicky. And Flicky is this game. And yes, Flicky is basically a sort of arcade sort of game. Kind of like Mappy. It kind of reminds me of that. The difference is that I'm actually halfway decent at Mappy, whereas that game I'm absolutely terrible at. And the last game, well, it's got to be Fatal Labyrinth, hasn't it? I mean, we've gone through all the others. And sure enough, yes it is. With a piercingly annoying sound at the start. Yes. And yes, Fatal Labyrinth. Sound wise it's not too bad, at least not here. And yes, you can just sort of go through this sort of intro bit. So you go down this place with really tall trees. Okay, it's probably supposed to be a forest, but whatever. Yes, you can go through this town. There's really not much point though, because you can't actually do anything other than talk to the people, I think. It's basically just sort of rudimentary intro. Basically sort of explaining why you're going into the labyrinth that's fatal. So yes, you have to get a goblet to sort of save the world. Yes, I want to go. Yeah, just press start, you can skip that. And yes, plenty of stuff to collect right from the start. At least it would be if I knew what button picked stuff up. Okay, it's the C button. Might as well collect stuff because it's useful. Food, I want that because I don't want to go hungry. Although you can go overweight and sort of die, I think, from eating too much. Yeah, just good from that sort of case in real life. Blue ring. Oh, okay. Apparently I can't use that. Yeah, I can't remember which bits, what things I've collected and which ones I haven't. Okay, this I have picked up. Blue ring. You begin to feel much better. Okay, well that's pointless considering I've already got full health. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, what was the last thing I picked up? It wasn't an arrow, it was... oh wait, no, it was food, wasn't it? That's why nothing else is showing up. And yes, the levels are randomly generated, in case you don't know. So some rooms can be really easy, like the one I started in, which had no enemies. Other ones can be really hard, like this one, where you have to deal with this bastard. Magicians. Annoying. See, this is just really annoying, because you can take like 50 damage before you're even allowed to walk away. Why they load this? And this is kind of annoying. It basically means the game could either be really easy or really hard, and it's based on luck more than anything. That's what's kind of annoying about it. Aside from that, it's not too bad, but nah, it could have been designed better. I mean, look at this, I'm already dead, and I'm almost dead, and I've barely just started the game. I mean, who designed this? Oh yeah, randomness. I might as well try the yellow cane, it's probably going to kill me, but whatever. Ha! Could have used that about half an hour ago, when that would have actually been useful. Yeah, fuck that, I'm fighting him. But yeah, that's enough of the built-in games. Check later where I'm going to go for the other ones. See you later.